Hey, this is Janice Seagraves. I'm a author, published author, and I'm also a backyard gardener. We haven't done a walk through my garden for a while, so I thought that might be something nice to do today. Also, things change almost day to day when you're a gardener. So we'll just see what we can find today. Okay. This is Better Boy, and I have actually harvested a couple of tomatoes off of it, but it doesn't seem to be producing any more right now. And it is putting on some blooms, or some tiny blooms, right in here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's one right in there, and there's some over there. So it is producing some blooms, but just not a lot. This one is my Roma, and you see right in here, it does have quite a few tomatoes. It's doing a lot better than Better Boy. And there's a nice big fat one right down in there. And I'm just waiting for these to become ripe. Oh, there's more down there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I can get it in there. Yeah, see? One down there. So that one's doing all right. Now this is Cantaloupe. And it's just barely hanging in there. I had lost my watermelon. But this is also a cantaloupe, and I'm just training it to grow up this tomato cage. And yeah, it's just growing and growing and growing. So it's doing pretty well. Now over here is my yellow pear that had gotten some mosaic leaf spots on it, and I cut those off. But we have this really weird problem in the yard where we have like bounce back off of the glass windows, and I'm thinking it's just been hit rather hard with the heat, because we had a kind of a heat wave come through here not too long ago. And I was putting on some tomatoes, but this great big grasshopper was in here, and I didn't kill the bugger when I had the chance. I was going to tell my husband, and oh, there's the grasshopper in question now. I don't know if you can see that, but he is right there. See if I can get him to focus. But I'm going to have to see about killing him. And anyway, in the meantime, I did plant some things right down in here. This right here is actually carrots. I don't know if you can, this is going to focus too well on them. That's carrots, and then that's radishes. And I planted some flowers. It was marigolds, but I don't know if they're coming up or not. They don't really look like it. And it was all fresh seeds, so we'll have to see what happens, see if they'll come up for me or not. And because of that heat wave that we had, I lost my my cilantro. Well, my cilantro I was growing for my son-in-law. So I replanted it back in these pots, and there's just a little bit coming up in that one. But these seeds seem to be doing a little bit better over here. And this is a pepper plant. The original one just curled up and died on me, so I went and got another one. Now things are looking a little wilted right now, and it's not because they need watering, it's because it's kind of hot right now. And this one's went to seed on me, and this one went to seed and then died, so I'm going to have to just take that one out, I guess. And this is not cantaloupe, excuse me, it's a cucumber, and it's got a lot of cucumbers on it. And then there's some pepper plants with some onions in between. Here's some more cucumbers over here, and I do have cucumbers on them. Let me get over there and show you. Let's see if I can find it. There's one. I don't know, can you see that? Sometimes this camera doesn't really want to focus. Here. Oops. There, right there. Let me back it up. Yeah, you can see that one. That is a cucumber. And there's another cucumber right there. My peas aren't doing well at all. I'm going to have to just pull them up and plant some beans, and they did put on a little bit. I might just try again in the fall. But this is a pepper plant, and this is a hot pepper plant. And you see, I've got a hot pepper that I should pull up soon. So I'm going to get a little bit of a harvest of that. This one has a lot of blooms on it. This is a bell pepper. This is another hot pepper. It's got one to pick right there. And that's another bell pepper. See, I don't think it has anything on it right now. And here's the other cucumber vine. And it is doing really, really well. I've been trying to get these things to grow up the trellis. I have to tie that one up. And yeah, it's got some cucumbers. Let me see if I can find one for you. Because these are probably male flowers there. But this is a, yeah, there's a, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's kind of curled. And see if I have any more. So when they're male, when they're like this, they're a male bloom, I think. I had problems. This is my raised or mini raised beds, and I had some problems with these, and all the plants died, but this one, there was these gnats in here, and they were eating them. And see, there's a little bit of slime. I think something got in here and just had a field day, and I couldn't find it. And I didn't really want to put any poison in here. And anyway, they just had a field day, and they just ate everything except for that one plant. And it survived. And this one is just down to this little bit here. This is actually broccoli, but they're not growing a whole lot. It looks like something got in there and ate a bite. These are still, I don't know if you can see these, but they had went to seed, and I just haven't been doing very much with them. I need to take them out. This one is my onions, and it doesn't look like they've grown any bulbs yet. This was just something I was trying. I don't know, something I'll ever do again. They just don't seem to be doing very well. This is rosemary, and it's just fine. And this one, let's see. On this side, it's radishes, and this other side, it's spinach. But for some reason, they're just not doing very well. Tried to harvest a little bit earlier, but I just couldn't really take too much out without hurting them. And there's not many bulbs on these radishes. That's not doing too good either. That's something I might not try again next time. And this is all lettuce. I had planted these on camera, and they're hanging in there. I might even harvest some maybe today or tomorrow. And this over here, if I get this off, is also some lettuce. They don't really grow in the middle too much, because I think it's because there's too much shade in these little domes, pest domes. But at least the cats are staying out. And this is the strawberry plant. You can see a strawberry right there. See if this thing will focus. Doesn't want to. Anyway, I'm getting some strawberries. We've harvested a little bit. And my grandsons have been coming over here, and they've been getting into them too, which is fine, because I'm growing these for them. And this is the one that I was trying to see if I can get them for my head, because my husband likes head lettuce. It's called Butter Crunch, and they produce kind of a loose head, but it's kind of a head, but they're just loose leaf right now. So, but they are producing. There's supposed to be one up in this corner, but it didn't do anything. And I kept trying to plant some carrots, and there's one carrot that came up after planting twice. this way. And that's the one that went to seed. I'm going to have to pull those up. That one went to seed. I'm going to pull that up. And that one I already showed you. And that's my really sad looking yellow pear. And that's that cucumber that, I mean not cucumber, cantaloupe that's just growing and growing and growing. Wish this one would take off like that. It just doesn't seem to be. And this is the Citrusella plant. And it's actually doing pretty good. It seems to like the plant, this pot really well. Back there, that is blackberry, and it's really going. And we're going to have some berries this year. I don't know if you can see that right on the end there, but that is some berries. They're just not ripe yet. And whatever this thing is called is doing really well. This one I thought was going to die on me. And my daughter said, well, Mom, you need to fertilize it and water it more. So we fertilized it, and I've been watering it more, and the yellow and the leaves seem to be going away, so that one's doing all right. That one's flowers, it's wildflowers. And it has some blooms on the ends there. I don't know if you can see those. So, and they did open, but they just sort of closed again. This one's doing well. This is actually a lavender plant. It just haven't come to bloom yet. And those up there, well, the one on the right, I guess I transplanted too late. The one in the middle is a vine. It's a lavender trumpet vine. I don't know the scientific name of it, but it's one that my mother had grown, so it's doing pretty good. I'm thinking I probably need to transplant it soon. And those are some more flowers. They just don't have any blooms right now. And there's some wildflowers. More wildflowers, and they are in bloom. You see the lavender right there. And these are mint. They're doing all right. This is thyme. Now my husband gave me this ladder, and he said, do you think you can put some plants on that? So I just put it in here, and I put the thyme, which is relatively new, in here. I had transplanted it to a little bit bigger of a plant, and I'm going to transplant it again before too long. This is strawberries that I got that were bare root, and I planted them here, and I planted them over here. But this one has something that's eating on it, and I haven't seen what it was. But I found this, I don't know if you can see this really good, but I bought this, and it's supposed to be like an all-natural product. And I sprayed that on there today, so I'm hoping that'll take care of the bug problem that I'm having. And unfortunately, some of my strawberries died. So I think I got about a half success rate, because these at top are doing really well, and some of these on the sides are doing well. Let's see, that one even has a berry on it. And then that one's hanging in there too, so I'm hoping it'll put berries on pretty soon. This one has a little berry on it too. I don't know if it's going to focus, but there you go. And this is my succulent garden, and they're getting bigger. I moved out my indoor jade plants, and this one is it's taking a turn for the worst. So I put this over here to see if I can get some things to root. You just need to put them on top of some ground, and they'll usually start taking off. This one's hanging in there, seems to be doing all right. The rest of them seem to be doing all right too. Okay, now I'm going to show you my side garden, because I call it my side garden because it's to the side of the house. Now, if you remember in an earlier video, my husband and I had put this up. It's actually just a canopy. Instead of a canopy, we put redwood lattice up so the grapes can grow over them. And they've grown a little bit more. But since we put them up there, or my husband did, he draped them over there, you can see all the grapes, and the grapes are getting huge. Just look at that. This is a great big bunch here. And there's some more big bunches. Oh, we're going to be eating grapes this year. They should be ripe in about a month or two. So they're, compare this to the size of my hand. You can see how big they're already gotten. And I have to keep my youngest grandson out because he doesn't seem to understand they're not ripe enough to eat yet. He's so enthused. He wants to pick them now. Now, me, now. But anyway, it's doing really well. I'm just trying to keep it watered. I just gave it a little fertilizer just yesterday. But remember me mentioning that mini heat wave we had a couple of weeks ago? Well, they killed off my salad greens, so I pulled them all up and I planted fresh ones. And this one is kind of a spicy salad green. They have a little bit more of a bite to them. But they're doing real well, and they've already put on their second leaves, you can see here. Now, I don't know if you saw them at the earlier videos, but these started out itty bitty, and you just barely could see them trying to come up through the top here. And they've grown and grown and grown, and I've used this planter shelf thing to serve as a trellis for these tomatoes, and they do seem to be doing very well. Now I have 3 volunteers over here, and that one that's not doing so good, I think I might pull that up and plant 1 or 2, can't really see it, 2 of these. Hey you, move. And because they're doing really well, and they need to be planted in the garden soon. Now, here are my potted squash plants. The only problem is I'm having a trouble with the ants. The darn things have decided that this was going to be their place to farm their aphids, and so they've gotten all over it. This one either didn't get fertilized or just the life got sucked out of it. I'm going to just pull this out. See, look at that thing. That's just so sad, isn't it? I have to just toss that one out. I'm going to put it here for now. Ugh. Made my hand all gooey. Anyway, I've got these 2, and I was just going to see if they were going to grow, because they look like that right before they're pollinated, because that's a female. The male bloom looks like that one there. Can you see that one? It doesn't have the thing that looks like a squash underneath it. And then over here, I thought I had, yeah, there it is. I have a zucchini. This is Black Beauty. I don't know, can you see that? It's right here. Let me get another angle. Oops. Oh, let's see. Is that? Can you see it? Anyway, I'm gonna wait on that one. This one doesn't have any blooms. Well, it's got some blooms. They just haven't done anything yet. There you go. And then my potatoes are doing okay. I harvested a few, just some little tiny ones. This one died, but I have 1 or 2 plants still growing, so I'm going to leave that one alone. And my figs are getting big. Now, I harvested the 1 fig that I had growing here and ate it, and it was sweet. Not as sweet as I wanted, but it was still sweet. And but this one just has figs, literally all over it. Now, technically, this is called a second harvest. Is there something on that one? And so I'm just going to let it go and see how many I end up getting. Now, this one, I was thinking I'll just go ahead and start cutting off the ends. You just cut off the very ends on these. In fact, I could probably just break it and no, it doesn't want to break. Take that off, and it should get me some figs on there, because I don't have any at all right now. And anyway, it's still doing all right. Now, this is the avocado tree. I've literally gotten no avocados on this one at all, and it just seems to be a good place for grasshoppers to get on here and just eat. And I already harvested the cherry trees. My daughter ate them. I gave them to her. I didn't eat any of them. She said they were a little sour, like they were too new, and I should have waited a little bit longer. And I had to tell her, look, sweetheart, I harvest them when I harvest them because you wouldn't have had anything. The darn birds were getting after them. Now, these I've already thinned, so they should be ready to go. I did part of a post on this. I probably should just do one where I'm thinning so you can see how it's done in case you've never done it before. But these are on 2 different limbs, so they're okay that close together. And let's see, these should be all on separate limbs. That one there is separate, that one there is separate, that one there is separate, and that one there is separate, and then there's one up there. They're all on separate limbs, so it shouldn't pull as much energy from the plant as if there was a whole bunch. And this is my nectarine tree, and their nectarines are getting very, very big, and I should be harvesting them, this and the peach tree, next month. Because when we moved in 5 years ago, we moved in on like the 2nd or 3rd of the month, and they were ready to go. And this is one that doesn't have, it's a blueberry tree and doesn't have a lot of blueberries. It's just been a bad year for blueberries. And I can't see any. There was a couple, but I don't know what happened to them. Maybe the birds or mouse got them. This one has some, let's see if I can find them. Oh, there they are. Yeah, see, there's blueberries. They're still a little young yet, so I'm going to just wait and give it a little more time before I try to harvest any. And this is the nectarine tree. Anyway, this one seems to be doing all right. I need to thin it some more though. These are okay, I think. As you see, there's one there and there's one there. They're a little bit close together, but I think they'll be all right. And over here was, this is Kentucky Wonder Bean. The mini heat wave killed some of the leaves, but it's still hanging in there. I mean, this kind of died off, but it's putting on new leaves again. And this is called a burgundy bush type bean. So I'm just giving these a try. What I'm thinking about doing is pulling out all my peas, since the heat's done them in, and just plant these in their place and see how that does. And here are my grapes again. Look, it's just solid grapes here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just solid. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the view of my garden. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.